Hi folks, Exeter Rider, hope you're all doing okay. This week is my full review of the SINNIS Hoodlum 125. Right, start off with, I've had this bike for nearly 2 weeks now, and this time of year it's been a little bit difficult getting out, but I've still put some miles on it, and I've got the gist of it now. I've got the things which I like and I don't like, which I'll be running through on this video with you. Now, overall, it's been a good bike. I've quite enjoyed riding it. Unfortunately, the thing that spoils it a little bit for me is the Toro aftermarket exhaust. Now, a lot of you will love that, the noise that it makes, but for me it's very, very loud and quite obnoxious, and yeah, I find myself getting a bit of tinnitus at my age from it, so it's not for me, but I prefer to have a standard normal exhaust. Now, to start off with, this is a SINNIS, so it's a Suzuki derived engine, and it's a good little power plant. It's proved to be okay. It is 125cc, so it's not going to have a huge amount of power, and it is going to learn a legal bike. So, you know, all the 125s, you know, some people say to me, oh, what's the fastest 125? Well, there isn't one really, because they are all pretty much the same. So you've very much got an outward, arms out straight riding position. For me, not only is the seat comfort very, very good and above its station, but the footboards as well are fantastic. Just the actual way your legs sit and the angle that you get off your legs, it's very good. Even if you're a taller rider, you won't have a problem riding this bike. Now, before we go too far, I just want to let you know that this is a review about what this bike is and not what it isn't. Now, this bike is 2000, I think it's 2,200 or 2,300. I'll let you know in the walk round, plus on the road. So for most people, that is going to make owning a new motorbike viable, whereas for youngsters it's very difficult to get on the road with having to pay for the CBT and massive insurance costs these days. It's very difficult for them to spend, well, what we're looking at now, £4,500, 4,600 for a one of the big top 4 branded motorcycles. So this is where SINNIS and this particular bike comes in to its own, is that it makes motorbiking affordable. And I am all for that, because at the end of the day, the people who buy these bikes are going to be normally the people who are going to be supporting the industry when I'm in my 70s and 80s. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're looking for a bike just to get on the road, pass your tests and then move on, this is a great option. And also, if you're on a budget, again, it's a very good option. So that is what this bike is. It's not trying to pretend to be anything else apart from a decent learner legal machine. And what you get for your £2,300 is blooming good. You know, you get a decent seat, nice handlebar setup, reliability, not too sure. I haven't had it for long-term use. I know the SINNIS Terrains do very well on reliability, with the odd niggle here and there. But it's nice to think that you can spend, just a small amount, under £2,500. I could be on the road with this bike, on a brand new bike, with a centre stand as standard, with a comfortable seat as standard, and with a comfortable riding position as standard as well. So there is a lot to be said for these bikes. Yes, you do need to look after them. It's not got a, the finish of the bike is acceptable, but it's, it's not going to be the best at that price point. But it is very good considering what you do actually pay for the bike. The finish is acceptable. It is all nuts and bolts. You do need to put it under a cover if you're going to own this bike. I would advise you put it under a cover or in a garage to keep it, keep it in good condition. It's a good looking bike though, if it's your style of bike, I think. As I say, you've got the nice big handlebars. It rides really nicely, especially with that big front wheel and the big handlebars, wide handlebars. Right, so you're just about to see what I mean with this exhaust, so let's start her up. Listen to that. Cool, it literally pops your eardrums out, that does. Yeah, so for most people that would buy this bike, if you're a youngster, then you're going to like that exhaust, but for me it is very, very loud. Right, so as I say, I've had this bike for around 2 weeks now. Got to know it well enough to give a well-gauged opinion on it, I think. Now for me, it's a very, very comfortable bike, as I've said already. The handlebars are a lovely height, your arms are out pretty much straight there. The mirrors are very, very good as well. There's only slight vibration in them. Let's put that one out where you should be. There's only slight vibration in them, and because the bars are so high and you're relatively low sat into the bike, it does give you a nice field of view, shall we say. Braking could be a better on the front. The front is very wooden. It's a tight corner getting around here. But because this is a 125 without ABS, it does come with the combined braking. So as much as the front is wooden, it actually does the bike a bit of a favour. And the reason for that is when you do give the rear brake, which actually, as I say, is a combined brake, so you push the rear brake and the front works as well, it actually does it a favour because it's less likely to lock up the front. So it's actually okay, but like I say, the front brake on its own is a little bit on the wooden side for sure. Seating position is great, as I've said. Gear change is, really slick. It's not very snicky, shall we say, but it does fall into gear quite nicely, and there's never any sloppiness of the gears either. It always falls into the gear that you request. No false neutrals, etc. So it's all good there. Suspension wise, quite harsh on the back, as they normally are on these bikes. And on the front, it's a bit non-eventful really. It's just because all your weight's on the back, the front doesn't really feel like it's doing a huge amount anyway. So overall on that side, yeah, it's good enough. It's all right. I will be leaving the full specification of the bike at the end, but for now I'm just going to pop over and do the walk round in my garage now. The SINNIS Hoodlum is a 124cc air-cooled engine that produces 9.4 horsepower at 8,500 RPM and 9 Newton meters of torque at 7,500 RPM. It's got a 5-speed gearbox with an 18-inch front wheel, a 15-inch rear wheel, a 13-litre fuel tank, which you won't have to fill up very often because naturally these bikes are very fuel efficient, and you can probably easily get over 100 miles to the gallon. The SINNIS Hoodlum comes with a 2-year warranty. Now, the first year is going to be for parts, labour and breakdown, and the second year is for parts only. I'm 5'8", I've got a 30-inch inside leg measurement, and as you can see, it's very easy to sit on, very comfortable seat, and this riding position I'm a big fan of. I like my legs being out slightly forwards. With other cruiser style bikes I've ridden recently, the pegs have been quite a long way back and quite high up, so this is a very comfortable, natural feeling riding position. I've got the big foot pedal for the rear brake as well, or should I say the combined braking. Now, combined braking is always one of those things that no one likes, and I'm sure SINNIS would rather not have combined braking, but obviously they have to stick to the rules. Now, what sometimes happens is on other bikes that I've ridden, you put the rear brake on, and it's quite front biased with the braking, which obviously in wet conditions or muddy conditions that isn't a good thing, because it will put more braking power onto the front of the bike, and you can't moderate it or control it, which is not good. This bike isn't too bad on that front. I have ridden it in the wet, and I have tried to lock up the front, and it's been quite difficult to do that. So although I don't like combined braking, I think that in this particular case it isn't too bad. It's you can live with it and you get used to it. Right, so that's it. Thank you very much for joining me on this review. I've got loads coming up over next year, so if you could subscribe, that would be great. It helps me a lot. And if you could like the video, that'd be really cool as well, because it helps my side of things on the YouTube stage, so we say. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.